You shouldn't let things master you. You should master it. That's a word. My channel. My name is Jeremy and Nicole. I'm really just gonna jump right into it. So the first thing that is obvious is obviously my hair is different, my clothes are different. This is actually my third time recording this. I want to put out the best quality, and the first two times when I tried to record this, we couldn't hear the audio, and then the second time it just really didn't look the best in my opinion. So I wanted to just try again. They say third time's a charm, so I wanted to try again, and not try again because I'm gonna get it. By the title you can see that I will be basically explaining how deleting social media benefited my life and kind of changed it for the better. So let's just get it right into it. Okay, so the first thing, reclaiming my time.
Reclaiming my time.
Mr. Secretary, the time belongs to the gentlelady from California.
Perhaps, Mr. Chairman, I don't understand the rules because I thought I was allowed to answer questions.
Reclaiming my time. Would you please explain the rules and do not take that away from my time?
Yeah, like she said, reclaiming my time. Social media took so much time away from me, and I didn't even really realize it until I took a step back from it and saw like, oh, well, I'm doing so much more. And if I didn't do this, like if I didn't delete social media, I probably would have been just, you know, still scrolling or still, I don't know, stuck in whatever area I was in. I feel like I wouldn't have grown so much as a person if I didn't, you know, feel the need to delete social media and didn't do it. I'm reading this book currently, and it's called Single, Dating, Engaged, Married, Navigating Life and Love in the Modern Age by Ben Stuart. And actually, you would think that it's literally just talking about like how to navigate relationships, when like it's a faith-based book, so it doesn't necessarily only focus on that, but that is like the main context. But when I came across this, it resonated with me. Also, just to kind of like put a time frame on it, it's been about 7 months completely like with no like breaks and like going back on social media since I've had social media. And for me, the social media that was the most distracting was Instagram. It used to be Twitter, but I got, well, Twitter, which is now known as X, I got rid of that a long time ago. But I was still like, I still had like a burner page or whatever you want to call it, and yeah, like I would still be on Twitter. So those are like the main things that for me was distracting, and like what I was constantly feeling like negative, like I would feel negative after being on those platforms. Y'all see these swans? They're getting closer and closer. Okay. He said, "It makes me crazy when I read statistics like those quoted by Philip Zimbardo, chair of the Western Philosophical Foundation, in his book, The Demise of Guys. He reported that the average person, by the time they turn 21, has spent 10,000 hours playing video games. It takes half of that to earn your bachelor's degree." So I thought that was kind of crazy myself because, number one, I have a bachelor's degree. Number two, I don't play video games, but what I related back to was the thing that was consuming my time most of the time, and that was social media. And it's so easy because literally your phone is always with you, and that's usually where your social media is, on your phone. So like you can literally be doing nothing. You could be in the car just sitting, you could be at an event and you like, you know, get bored or something and you've run out of things to talk about. You can, I don't know, you could be at the park. I feel like they're trying to come and get me though. Oh, wait a minute, because they can't be running up on me like that. I don't want them to run up. I'm so scared. It was the way they was looking at me. But I'm not gonna pay them any mind. Hopefully they just mind their business, because I'm my mom. It can literally be something like that. Like, it's just always there at your fingertips, like right there on a silver platter, just waiting for you to pick it up. So all those like little seconds, little minutes, maybe even little hours that you might have been consuming social media, it probably was, at least for me, it probably was roughly around 10,000 hours, give or take. And honestly, that made me feel a type of way, because that's like, I could have been doing something so much more. I could be further along. I could be, I don't know, doing literally whatever. I could have a whole nother degree if I really wanted to, if I like thought about it like that, you know? And that's kind of scary, because, you know, we don't have all the time in the world. We might think we do, but we really don't. For the first 2 weeks, I did kind of struggle with it a little bit. I kind of was like, I wonder what such and such is doing or whatever. But then after, I was just like, you know what? We're gonna try new things. We're gonna go on Eventbrite. We're gonna try some classes. And now I love going to, like, I don't care what it is. I love taking a class. I don't know. It's just something like, it's fun. It's fun to try new things. So I found myself being more productive. I found myself reading more. I hadn't read a book on my own just because I wanted to, since like high school, when I was reading like fantasy books like Divergent and Hunger Games. Like, it was like, okay, this is refreshing, like, and I'm loving these books and I can't put them down. And like when I'm at work, I'm thinking about like when I take my break or whatever, because I'm gonna go read this book, or on my lunch, like I can't wait to see what happens next. It was things like that. It was just, it made me start working out more. It made me start running more. I took a Pilates class, and I took a bar class, which is a type of Pilates, I think. I also tried golf, and look, I still suck at it. I do. I don't want to say suck at it, because I know how to hold the golf club right now, but you know, it was still fun. Even though I didn't know what I was doing, it was still so much fun. It pushed me more outward than inward. I feel like with social media, it can kind of push you inward to yourself, and that is actually something that I have struggled with for a few years. And I think this is like the hack is to try new stuff, right? If anything, it'll make you a better person and it'll help you grow more. So I would say the next thing is clarity. Clarity, for sure. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. The reason, something was always like telling me, like, delete this, like take a break from this, you know. I took a 6-month fast. I started from November the 1st until April the 1st, and upon other things that I like fasted from, social media was one of the main things that I fasted from. Like, I knew I needed to take that out and like cut that out of like stuff that I was just like putting energy towards or consuming the energy from. I took it out. This is a little side story, but I did a 1-day fast in like 2022, right? And it was literally like no food, no drinking, anything but water. And I knew I really wanted to do things, or I really wanted certain things to happen for me or whatever. And I was just like, okay, like this is what I'm gonna, you know, fast from. And I really am gonna be like intentional about it. Then I did like a diet for like a month, but apparently the way I was dieting was actually a fast. Okay, so like in the morning up until 4, I would eat raw fruits and vegetables, and then at 4 I could eat cooked meals, including meat. And when the sun went down, I couldn't eat anything else. So that's mainly like what I was doing. And I didn't realize it was a fast until I told someone about it at work, and they were like, actually, like that's like a fast, like basically you're fasting. And I stuck with it for like a month, and I really wanted to do it just because I wanted to like kind of change my eating habits. And it really was a fast and I just didn't know it. It's like, okay, from November until April, like 6 months. That's 6 months, so I'll do that. And that's what I ended up doing. And it's technically past the 6 months mark, but I still don't have my social media. And I don't know if I will ever get it back, if I'm being honest. My little side story on like really how I ended up getting to this point. But with all of that, it gave me more clarity. It taught me obedience. It taught me discipline. And discipline is a huge thing that I think everybody should master, because like if you don't have any discipline, any type of self-control, like you kind of are just like out there, you kind of can just, you know, really be subject. Self-discipline is something you really need to master, because you shouldn't let things master you. You should master it. That's a word. That's a word. It made me realize the distractions that I was having that might have been keeping me stuck mentally, emotionally. And I think that kind of just comes like with the clarity of like taking a step back from something and realizing like, oh, you suck me dry. Like, you're actually an energy vampire. Like, you know, just different things like that. Like, you're a distraction. And my pastor said, distraction is the enemy of direction. And if you ever be finding yourself like, oh, I don't know which way to go, or so many options and it's so many, you know, different paths I can take. And that is good to have a lot of opportunity, but sometimes it's so clear what paths you should take, but because it's so many different paths and you're like, okay, I'm overwhelmed now, I don't know what to take, so you get distracted because you have so many opportunities. And it's like the golden path is literally right in front of you. Just walk, and you know that, and it will keep you just stuck because you're still trying to figure out which path to take, and you kind of already know, but you are still being distracted by the other paths. That's something I definitely learned, that certain people, I was attracting certain stuff that like they were just always distracting me, and I didn't realize like why is this a problem area for me? How come I can't, you know, just like leave it alone? And I ended up leaving it alone. I realized what it was. I realized like what they were sent to do, and they weren't sent to do anything positive in my life. And I just kept, you know, feeding into it, and that's what was keeping me stuck. So taking a step back from things, because sometimes it's so hard to see something while you're still in it, but when you can like take a step back, you can kind of see a wider picture, and that can clarify everything. And that's what it did. It also helped me to approach those things that I might have been like pushing off. So I would say one thing is therapy. In my community, the Black community, therapy it's starting to become talked about more and more and more. But maybe like 5-10 years ago, sorry, I don't know if y'all can see that fly, but maybe 5-10 years ago, it was not even a thing in anybody's head. Probably, seriously, it probably was not even a thing. But I realized that it was something that I probably should have did years ago. And I will say therapy also, like the talk of like mental health and stuff, it did come from social media, so it has benefits for sure. But I realized that I should have probably been in therapy years ago, and it was just something I kept pushing off. And I was just like, well, I'll do it, like, you know, I'll eventually get over it, or, you know, like eventually these things will go away, thinking I just grow out of whatever. And sometimes it stays and it festers and it grows into something bigger. So it made me stop putting off going to therapy. And honestly, I'm still on my healing journey, but I'm so glad I just was like, let me attack this thing right now. Like, I'm just gonna do it. Like, let me not put it off any longer. This is a huge one. It helped me to reflect on relationships. When you take a step back from social media, say for instance you do follow people who you're friends with or who you've been friends with from high school, from middle school, from college, from whatever era in your life. Say for instance you do follow them on social media, but then you comment on people's posts and like you personal message and DM people, whatever, when they post something, it makes you feel close to them. When you delete social media, sometimes you realize you weren't that close, and that's okay. Like sometimes you realize like we don't really have much to talk about, because I can't just call you up and be like, hey, what you doing? Like, want to go out to eat? Want to go here? Want to try this? Like, or if you do, it's just like, oh, we really don't have anything in common anymore because we've outgrown each other. Like the relationship is just not how it used to be because we're not in that area of our life anymore. But it will definitely show. It's going to make you reflect on those relationships. Then I was holding space in my head for these people too sometimes, like, okay, I'm trying to keep up with such and such. I don't even care about this person anymore, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't care about them. I probably didn't care about them in school, but because like they put me on their close friends, or because I put them on my close friends, like now I have to hold space in my heart for them. Truly, they're not even doing that to you. In addition to reflecting on my relationships, friend-wise, romantically, family-wise, it also helped me to see how I was showing up in those relationships. It helped me to realize, hey, I don't really like how I'm showing up. Like, I need to be a different way in this relationship. Like, I'm either giving too much or I'm not giving enough. And that was so key to me, because sometimes like when you just get so caught up in like your day-to-day life and just caught up in life in general, you don't really realize like, hey, you need to be doing more in this relationship. Like, you don't want it to only feel one-sided, because you know what it feels like when it is like when you're the only one feeling like you're putting in any effort. So make sure you are showing up in these relationships. Make sure you are being a good support system in this relationship, and vice versa, as in like if you feel like, dang, well, okay, I'm gonna tell this person like how I feel, hopefully they understand and they show up how I need them to show up too. And if they can't, that's okay, because like maybe that just means like our time is over. Like maybe we're just not meant to be anymore, or maybe we've like outgrown each other, or maybe we could just be in like a little dry area in our life, but like because they might be having whatever they're going through, like going on in their life, and they can't show up right now, but I understand that and I'm gonna give you grace. Like it really helped me with that, because I'm still working on this, I will say, but it did make me realize like, okay, I need to show up more for my friends, because I want them to know I am a good friend, that I care about them, that I love them, and I really want them to know that I appreciate all the support they give me, and vice versa. Honestly, it's such a benefit. Like, it's crazy to think that like deleting something like social media could have so many benefits, but it does. It really does. Okay, then we have emotional stability. I will say it has given me the most peace, and peace is such a good thing. I need peace in my life. I prefer it. So first off, comparison. The quote, comparison is the thief of all joy, is so true. Because comparison was killing and stealing my joy. Being on social media for too long and scrolling and just seeing what everybody else is doing. And even when I might have not even really wanted certain things that I saw other people, they were doing, it still made me feel like I wasn't doing enough. It was making me doubt myself. It was making me put myself down, almost, in a sense. That's just never good, because everybody's life path is so different. It's so different. Sometimes you might end up in the same destination, but you might have needed a little bit more character development. So it took you a little bit longer, but that still doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. And that doesn't mean that you you're failing because like the destination, literally, if you could see it, the destinations are still the same. And then even if they're not, then that's just okay. Like, it's just not for you. But how I was viewing it, I was just like, oh, I'm not doing enough. Oh, I'm failing myself. This isn't where I would have imagined myself at like 15 or whatever. Like, and it's just like, it's crazy to think that like your own plans, like, I don't know the saying, but like they always say like God laughs at like your plans because like that you have for your life, because like he's the author of your whole story. So your plans is like, oh, like you got plans, girl, okay. That's that's like how like I see it now. It's like, it's crazy because I was really sitting here trying to plan my whole life. And I'm such a planner person too, like, and you know, sometimes I do plan, sometimes I have my like goals and I do accomplish those goals. But to say like me at 15, 10 years from then, I was gonna have this accomplished, and it's like, girl, no, life happens, number one. Number two, you outgrow those interests or you get new ones, and it's just, it's funny. Like, it's laughable now. Now it is. Now that I've matured and really understand it, it's laughable now. When it comes to things that don't work out for me, I have adopted such a it is what it is mentality. Like, I am a firm believer that what's meant for you will be for you, and it won't mess you up. Like, it's not gonna pass you by. And then if it does, if it's really meant for you, it's gonna spin the block because it's still meant for you. You probably just wasn't ready in that moment. Honestly, overall, I'm just like, I'm happier. I just have found myself a lot more like happier ever since I have deleted social media. I don't know. I will say I'm just happier overall. I'm happier in my relationships with my friends. I'm happier how I show up, even though I'm still working on those things, and I probably will forever be working on them because like relationships change, they shift, and you meet new people, so you have to learn how to navigate the new relationships that you meet. I mean, the new relationships that you develop. I am more content in my seasons, my dry seasons, my waiting seasons, my seasons of the unknown, where I'm just like, I don't really know what to do, but I'm just putting this in your hand, God. Like, just things like that. Being content isn't a bad thing. It can be when you know you need to be moving, but when you know you've done everything you're supposed to do, it's okay to be content then. And it's also like when you're in those seasons of like waiting, it's just like, okay, well, what did I learn from this season? What can I use from this season that I can apply into like my life every single day on from now? Or what did it help me develop in my character now that has helped me and changed me for the better? So now when things occur, I know how to approach it differently now. Like, I hope that makes sense. This is just a bonus benefit. I don't know if everybody will have the same experience, but for me, in my experience, it's actually helped me save money. Like, deleting my social media helped me save money, which is true for me, because like the culture around social media is, you want to keep up, you want to stay on top of trends. With me, I used to be like that in a sense. I used to spend a lot of money just to like stay on trends. Like, you know, it's just so easy to be like, oh, that's what's in, let me go get that, let me go buy this, let me go add that to my cart, because now I gotta, you know, get it too. It's helped me save money because I don't have to keep up anymore. I can just do whatever I want. I can stay true to myself, and if I like it, I like it. I'll get it, whatever it is, and if I don't, I don't. And that's also cool, and that's also okay. And this is also another thing when it comes to like the whole like aesthetic thing. I do like aesthetics, I won't lie. Like how it makes you feel when you see like certain aesthetics. Like, it's like some type of feeling you get inside. But for me, I would say just because, like, say for instance, like your Instagram, because I was like this, my Instagram layout was a certain quote-unquote aesthetic, right? And there would be new parts of me that I have unwrapped, and I like it, but I can't really share it because it doesn't fit the aesthetic. If that is you, first off, erase that, whatever is telling you that you can't try that new thing that you found in yourself that's beautiful, that you've unwrapped a new part of you. Erase that out of your mind completely right now, because you should still have the freedom to express yourself how you want to. And I feel with me, I wasn't expressing myself as fully as I could have been because I was trying to remain looking a certain type of way. It's not gonna ever benefit you trying to hide parts of yourself, or you. It's only gonna hinder you. Been there, done that. I'm telling you now, if you haven't been there, and if you're slowly approaching there, get out of it, run in the opposite direction, because it's not gonna benefit you in the long run. Like, yeah, it's just not. Being authentically who you are is the only benefit that is gonna come from anything in the long run. It's only going to benefit you in the long run. Okay, so I really hope everybody who watched to the end, I hope you got something from it. I hope this was a sign if you needed one. I hope, I don't know, maybe this even just planted a seed of a thought to, not, if it's not social media, just something else that might be consuming your time and you would really like to put it down so that you're productive in other ways in your life. I hope if somebody was on this journey and they were struggling with it, I hope you know you're not alone. Yeah, just try taking it day by day, one step at a time. And if you did watch to the end of the video, thank you tons. I love you so much. Please leave a like, comment down, really anything, but share your stories if you have took a break from something and it benefited your life in the best way possible. Even if it wasn't super huge, still let me know. And yeah, comment, like, share, subscribe, and click that bell notification so that you're notified every time I post a new video. Thanks, bye, love you.